like you to imagine yourself going through any regular day. You wake up, get dressed, and head to work. You settle in like usual and you start your typical routine. Everything is going fine until you become short of breath. It gets worse throughout the day, and before you know it, you wake up on the floor, clenching your chest. You get rushed to the emergency room, and after many tests, you get devastating news. You realize that this day isn't any regular day, because this day, you are told that you are in need of a heart transplant. I know what you are thinking. This happens to other people, not me or my family, so why should I care? I didn't give it much thought either until I was given the news that I would need a kidney transplant. It was less than 48 hours from the time I got my blood drawn to when I had my first dialysis session. I am lucky to have received a transplant, but many people are not so lucky. According to the American Transplant Foundation, an average of 22 people die every day waiting for an organ transplant. And every 10 minutes, another person gets added to that list. Because of these devastating circumstances, I am going to tell you the importance of becoming an organ donor. The first main point I would like to discuss is why you should sign up to be an organ donor. There are many problems that come with a shortage of donors. Every person waiting on the list has a certain blood and tissue type that must be matched. When there are not enough donors, the people that are hard to match have an even harder time getting an organ. Another problem with the lack of donors means more people will die than necessary. Not only will they die from the lack of transplant, but the waiting could lead to a decline in their health. This could mean being taken off the transplant list. Another reason to sign up would be to make the decision easier on your family. Once your time has passed, your family has a decision of whether or not to donate organs. If you have already signed up, it will give them a clear idea of what you want. This one decision can save the lives of 8 people with organs and even more with donated tissue. The second main point I'd like to explain is the reason why there are so many people in need of organs. I've been told by some people that they don't want their organs going to those that cause their own organ failure. But the reality is that these patients make up a very small percentage of people on the waiting list. According to core.org, those people are less than 5%. The main reasons most people actually need a transplant are because of hereditary diseases, chronic conditions such as diabetes or high blood pressure that can lead to organ failure, a dangerous virus, or the result of being in a severe accident. I mention these because I want to emphasize that this can happen to anyone and that it's rarely the fault of the person in need of the organ. The third and last main point I want to bring up is the myth of organ donation and how to sign up to be a donor. According to MayoClinic.org, the main myths of being an organ donor are that doctors don't try to save organ donors. People have to be very healthy and young to donate, and the family of organ donors are charged money for the donation procedure. I will now explain why these myths are myths and not facts. Every doctor's main concern is their patient at that time. A person will only be considered a donor after they have become brain dead. And once donation is an option, an organ procurement team will take over from there, and the doctor will no longer take care of that patient. Health is irrelevant when signing up to be a donor because there are very few medical conditions that disqualify someone from donating their organs. Only doctors at that time of death can make that decision, so it's best to sign up either way. After the donation process has started, the family is not billed anymore. The hospital approves the cost. Now that we've established there is no reason to not be registered as an organ donor, you can go to any DMV or even go to dmv.org. Taking a few minutes out of your day to do this can give numerous people more years of their life. Organ donation can be an awkward and uncomfortable conversation, but it is a very necessary one. People are counting on you to make this decision, and one day even you or your loved one could be in their shoes. You being a donor can save lives and provide hope for someone on the brink of death. So sign up now and give people hope of having more regular days just like you have.